Ever sell a gun and feel it haunt you later? Like a cold breeze every time you open your safe and realize it's gone? Yeah, don't let that happen again. Because the pieces on this list, they're more than just steel and springs. They're legends. Guns with stories baked into their bluing, triggers that echo through history, and values climbing higher than brass at a reloaders convention. Some were war heroes, some made movie history, others are just so rare you'll be lucky to see one twice in your lifetime. And once they're gone, you're not getting them back, not without a second mortgage. These are the top 15 rare guns you should never, ever let go of. Whether it's tucked away in a sock drawer or collecting dust in Grandpa's old box. If it's on this list, don't sell it. You'll thank me later. Now, let's talk about the ones worth holding forever. Let's kick off this list with a revolver so iconic it's got its own fan club, the Colt Python. Born in 1955 and quickly crowned the king of wheel guns, the Python was Colt's premium .357 Magnum revolver built on the large I-frame. And when I say premium, I mean it. This thing wasn't stamped out on an assembly line. It was hand-fitted by master gunsmiths, polished to a mirror finish, and tuned so tight it makes modern revolvers feel like toys. Chambered in .357 Magnum, it's got the power to drop a hog or a threat with authority. Available in barrel lengths from 2.5 inches to 8 inches, the 4-inch and 6-inch versions are the sweet spot for most collectors. But regardless of length, that signature vented rib and full underlug barrel give it that unmistakable Python silhouette. Sleek, balanced, deadly, beautiful. The double-action pull is legendary. It's smooth, consistent, and crisp enough to break like glass in single action. The balance is perfect. The recoil stays manageable, thanks to its beefy frame and top-tier build. Even if you're not a revolver guy, firing a Python will make you reconsider your whole personality. Back in the day, this revolver was pricey, but not insane. Now, expect to drop $2,500 to $5,000 for a pre-90s Colt Python in great condition, and more if it's unfired or in the original box. And that number is rising fast as collectors scoop them up. Yes, Colt re-released the Python in 2020 with some modern tweaks, and those are great shooters. But the originals? They're art. They're investment-grade steel. If you've got one, keep it close. Selling a Colt Python is like pawning off a Stradivarius. You just don't do it. Coming in at number 14 is a handgun that quite literally rewrote the book on combat pistols, the Walther P38. Born from the chaos of pre-World War II Germany, this 9mm icon replaced the legendary Luger P08 in 1938 and went on to become one of the most influential service pistols of the 20th century. If you've got a wartime P38 with matching serial numbers, Nazi Waffenamt markings, or military acceptance stamps, you're holding a slab of history with a trigger. The P38 was groundbreaking. It was the first widely adopted double-action, single-action, semi-automatic pistol used by a military force. That means safer carrying with a round chambered, pull the trigger for a long first shot, then smooth single action for the rest. Sounds like standard stuff now, but in the 30s? That was revolutionary. It features an 8-round magazine, a 4.9-inch barrel, and a clever open-top slide design that helps with ejection reliability. The fixed barrel system offers surprising accuracy, and there's even a rudimentary loaded chamber indicator on the slide, a nice little flex for its time. And let's not ignore the cool factor. The Walther P38 just looks like a spy pistol. It's the kind of piece you'd expect to see in a black and white thriller or a gritty World War II drama. But this isn't just some museum piece. These things still shoot, and shoot well. Now let's talk value. A clean wartime P38 can sell for $1,200 to over $3,000, depending on condition and provenance. Some rarer variants, like those produced at the Mauser or Spreewerk factories, fetch even more. If one of these lives in your collection, especially with its holster and paperwork, do not sell it. You'd be trading a relic of innovation and world history for a couple weekend range trips, and that's just not a fair trade. Sliding into number 13 is one of the most underrated Cold War gems out there, the CZ75 Pre-B. If you've got one of these tucked away in your safe, especially a checkmate original from the late 70s or 80s, trust me, hold on to it like it's your last box of primers. Because this steel-framed, all-business 9mm isn't just a fantastic shooter. It's a piece of covert firearms history. The The CZ75 was introduced in 1975 by Česká zbrojovka, say that 3 times fast, and due to Cold War politics, it wasn't widely exported until years later. That means the early pre-B models, those without the firing pin block safety, are rare and were mostly issued to Czech police and military units. These pistols were secret hits in the gun world, accurate, durable, and sporting one of the best factory double-action, single-action triggers you could ask for. With a 16+1 round capacity, low-bore axis, and ergonomics that fit like they were custom-molded to your hand, the CZ75 Pre-B became a quiet inspiration for dozens of other pistols. Think Tenfolio, Jericho, even the Baby Eagle. It's the handgun that launched 1,000 clones. What really sets the Pre-B apart is its shootability. The slide rides inside the frame rails, which gives it an incredibly smooth, tight lockup, and contributes to its excellent accuracy. And since these were built with old-school forged steel, they're tanks that shoot like butter. Collectors are starting to wake up to these early models, and prices are climbing. A clean Pre-B CZ75 can run $800 to $1,500, depending on markings, import stamps, and condition. If you've got one that says, "Made in Czechoslovakia," that's the magic ticket. Don't sell it, shoot it, clean it, pass it down, but don't ever let it leave the family. Now this next one? It's loud, it's heavy, and it makes no apologies. The Desert Eagle Mark I and Mark VII. Yeah, I know. Some folks scoff and call it a video game gun, but that's only if they've never actually held one of the original Israeli-made monsters in their hands. If you've got a Mark I or 7 in 357 Magnum or 44 Magnum, especially one stamped IMI Israel Military Industries, don't even think about parting with it. These early models were built like tanks and finished like jewelry. The brushed chrome and polished nickel variants, collector eye candy. Unlike the newer, bulkier Mark 19 models, these originals have a sleeker profile and a more manageable weight. They're gas-operated semi-autos, which is wild in itself, and they shoot full-house Magnum loads with surprising smoothness, thanks to that rotating bolt and gas piston system straight out of a rifle. Collectors and enthusiasts are snapping these up left and right. A clean Mark VII in chrome can easily bring $1,800 to $2,500, sometimes more depending on barrel length and finish. And yes, it's a bit of a diva to shoot, but that's part of the charm. It's not just a range toy, it's a statement piece. If yours says "Made in Israel," hang on to it. This isn't just a gun, it's a pop culture icon with real collector legs. You let it go, and good luck ever finding it again for a sane price. Next, we're getting into sacred territory, the Colt 1911, especially the World War II issued or pre-Series 70 models. If you've got one of these and you're thinking about selling it, you might as well toss your family Bible in with the deal, because you're giving away a cornerstone of American firearms history. Designed by John Browning in, you guessed it, 1911, this 45 ACP beast served through both World Wars, Korea, and even saw action in Vietnam before finally being replaced by the M9 in the 80s. The GI-issued models, especially those marked U.S. property, are highly collectible, and their value only goes one way, up. Even civilian models from the pre-Series 70 days have that old-school Colt craftsmanship, with slick bluing, clean triggers, and forged steel that feels like it could stop a truck. It's got a 7+1 round capacity, a single-action trigger that still puts striker-fired pistols to shame, and a slim, all-steel profile that carries surprisingly well for its age. And that recoil? Yeah, it barks, but it's manageable, even kind of addictive. It's like driving a '69 Mustang, loud, heavy, but full of soul. These days, a well-kept World War II Colt can run $2,000 to $5,000 or more, especially if it comes with a provenance. And some rare military contracts, like those made by Singer or Union Switch and Signal, can reach 5 figures. So yeah, if you've got one, do not sell it. Clean it, shoot it, frame it. Whatever you do, keep it in the family. This isn't just a gun, it's a legacy in blued steel. Sliding into the top 10 is one of the most beloved service pistols of the 20th century, the Browning High Power. This isn't just another 9mm. This is John Browning's final masterpiece, completed by F.N. Herstal after his death. If you own an original Belgian high power, consider it a family heirloom in the making. Introduced in 1935, the high power became the standard sidearm for over 50 countries, and for good reason. It was one of the first pistols to feature a double-stack magazine, offering 13 plus 1 rounds of 9mm at a time when most guns were stuck at 7 or 8. The single-action trigger is crisp, the ergonomics are legendary, and that all-steel frame with wood grips? Straight-up classic. It's got military history, Cold War presence, and a cult following that refuses to die, even after FN officially discontinued it in 2018. And now that modern clones and reboots are hitting the market, the value of originals has spiked. Early models and T-Series high powers can fetch $1,200 to $1,800, with rare variants going even higher. Sure, it's got a few quirks, like the magazine disconnect safety that makes the trigger a bit heavier, but that's like complaining the Mona Lisa doesn't smile big enough. If you've got one of these in the safe, especially a wartime or early civilian model, don't even think about letting it go. It's more than a pistol. It's history that fits in your hand. All right, number 9 is the Sig Sauer P226, a pistol that doesn't just shoot, it performs like a German-engineered muscle car. Born in the 1980s to compete for the U.S. military's next sidearm contract, it lost to the Beretta M9, but just barely. The P226 went on to become the weapon of choice for Navy SEALs, federal agencies, and elite police units around the world. This all-metal wonder comes chambered in 9mm, 40S and W or 357 SIG, but the 9mm version with a 15 plus 1 capacity is the real sweetheart. It features a double-action single-action trigger, a longer first pull followed by smooth, crisp single-action shots, and that Swiss-German precision is baked into every control and contour. The nitron-coated stainless slide sits on an aluminum alloy frame, giving you a strong yet balanced pistol that feels rock-solid in the hand. The P226 is famous for its unflinching reliability. This thing eats thousands of rounds without choking, even under harsh conditions. It's the kind of pistol you load, holster, and trust without second-guessing. Now here's where it gets spicy. West German-made models, especially those marked with the triple serial numbers and proof marks, are turning into collector gold. Some Navy and Blackwater editions are pushing $1,200 to $2,000, and that number's only climbing. So if you're holding on to a vintage P226, especially one that's seen real action or comes from the golden SIG years, don't sell it. This isn't just a pistol, it's a battle-tested legend, and it belongs in your collection for life. Now, if the P226 is the sports car of combat pistols, the Heckler Koch USP is the German tank, and that's why it sits proudly at number 8. Specifically, we're talking about the 45 ACP version of this bad boy. If you've got one in your safe, especially an early model or law enforcement issue, keep it like your life depends on it, because one day, it just might. Introduced in the 1990s as H&K's answer to American law enforcement needs, the USP, Universal Self-Loading Pistol, was overbuilt in every way. It features a double-action, single-action trigger, ambidextrous safety notch decocker, and H&K's proprietary recoil reduction system, borrowed straight from the Mark 23 SOCOM beast. That recoil system makes even the stout 45 ACP feel like a gentle push, not a slap. This pistol runs a 12 plus 1 capacity with a polymer frame mated to a cold hammer-forged steel slide that laughs in the face of sand, water, and mud. And let's not forget, the USP passed NATO's torture testing. It survived drops, dirt, and freezing conditions without breaking a sweat. You don't carry a USP, you deploy it. Collectors and hard-use fans alike are starting to realize these early 45 models, especially those marked Made in Germany, are only getting rarer. Prices for clean, German-made USPs now hover around $900 to $1,300, with special edition variants commanding more. So yeah, it's bulky. Yeah, it's a little old school. But that's the charm. This isn't some plastic fantastic range toy. The USP is a combat-proven beast that'll outlive you if you treat it right. Selling it? That'd be like trading in your apocalypse vehicle for a Prius. Coming in at number 7 is the Glock 19 Gen 5, the pistol that proves you don't have to be flashy to be a legend. It's not the oldest, not the rarest, and definitely not the prettiest gun on this list. But you know what it is? Near indestructible. And if you've got a Gen 5 sitting in your safe, don't let the simplicity fool you. This thing's a modern classic in the making. The Gen 5 refined everything people love, and sometimes love to hate, about Glocks. It's got a 15 plus 1 capacity, a striker-fired trigger, and that Glock reliability that's damn near mythological. We're talking drop it, freeze it, bury it in mud. It still runs. And the Gen 5 ups the game with a Glock marksman barrel, flared magwell, no finger grooves, and ambidextrous controls, making it the most shootable Glock yet. It's the perfect size too, small enough to conceal, big enough to fight with. It's like the Goldilocks of handguns, just right. Now value-wise, you're not looking at rare prices yet. These retail around $550 to $650, but here's the deal. They hold value like champs, especially if you've got one with low rounds and original accessories. And with the aftermarket being absolutely flooded with Glock parts, you can turn your Gen 5 into anything. Carry gun, home defense, competition beast. Selling this? Nah. This is the gun you keep, because it'll always work when you need it most. And if you ever do sell it, you'll probably just end up buying another. Okay, number 6 is where we switch things up. From the battle-proven to the straight-up bizarre. Say hello to the Lifeguard 22LR. The most pocketable pistol ever made, and possibly the most fun you'll ever have with one round. This isn't your everyday range gun. It's a conversation piece, a collector's oddity, and a wild little slice of innovation, all rolled into a single-shot folding pistol. Yes, you heard that right, folding. When closed, the Lifeguard is literally the size of a credit card, just a little thicker. Flip it open and voila. It becomes a functional single-shot 22LR with a 2.5-inch barrel, aluminum frame, and a hidden trigger that snaps into action. It weighs just 7 ounces, so you'll forget it's in your pocket, until someone says, "What the heck is that?" It holds one round, is slow to reload, and doesn't exactly scream tactical. But what it does do is offer unmatched concealability and collector appeal. People love these things because they're so different. And with limited production runs and creative designs, they're already gaining traction with collectors. Value-wise, the Lifeguard is still affordable, usually running $300 to $350, but certain colorways or early serial numbers are creeping up. And unlike most pocket guns, this one actually gains in charm the longer you own it. You don't sell a Lifeguard. You show it off, you stash it, and you bring it to the range just to see people's faces. It's not about firepower. It's about owning something so cool, you'll never want to part with it. At number 5, we've got the sidearm that replaced the 1911 and served the U.S. military for over 3 decades, the Beretta 92FS, also known as the M9. If you were in the service any time from 1985 to 2017, there's a solid chance this was your daily carry. And if you've got one sitting in your safe, especially a military-issued variant, do not sell it. You'd be letting go of a piece of modern combat history. The Beretta 92FS is a full-sized, double-action, single-action 9mm pistol with a 15+1 round capacity, and it's instantly recognizable thanks to its open slide design. That design isn't just for looks. It helps reduce jamming and makes ejection smoother than your favorite range whiskey. It has a 4.9-inch barrel, a steel slide riding on an aluminum frame, and one of the smoothest, most balanced shooting experiences you'll get from a double-stacked 9mm. The decocker safety is ambidextrous, the trigger is predictable, and the recoil, surprisingly mild for a full-size pistol. Collectors are especially after the early U.S. military contracts or models marked with U.S. government property. But even standard civilian 92FS models hold their value well. Prices hover around $600 to $750, but mint condition or special editions can go $1,000 or more, easy. This is the pistol that showed up in Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and every action flick in the 90s. It's not just battle-proven, it's pop culture royalty. So yeah, if you own one of these, holster it, display it, shoot it on special occasions. But don't sell it. That's like pawning your service medal. At number 4, we're shifting gears from pistols to pump-action perfection, the Remington 870. If you've ever held one, fired one, or heard one rack across a dark hallway, you already know. This isn't just a shotgun. It's an American institution. First introduced in 1950, the 870 has gone on to sell over 11 million units. Yeah, you read that right. It's used by law enforcement, military, hunters, home defenders, and even breachers. Why? Because it's dead simple, dead reliable, and built like a tank with a badge. The 870 is typically chambered in 12-gauge, but there are 20-gauge and 410 variants too. Most models run a 4+1 or 6+1 capacity, with barrel lengths ranging from 18 to 30 inches. The design uses a steel receiver, not aluminum, which gives it a rock-solid feel and absorbs recoil like a champ. If you've got a pre-Freedom Group model, before Remington's quality went sideways around 2007, don't even think about selling it. These earlier versions are sought after for their better fit, finish, and longevity. Prices range from $250 for beat-up police trade-ins to $600 or more for well-kept tactical models. But honestly, you can't buy this kind of proven reputation anymore. If it's working, and it probably is, keep it forever. Your grandkids will thank you every time they hear that cha-chunk. At number 3, we're pulling a true icon out of the history vault, the Luger P08. Designed by Georg Luger and officially adopted by the German military in 1908, this beauty didn't just participate in history, it shaped it. And if you've got one tucked away, especially a wartime bringback with matching serial numbers, you're holding a work of mechanical art with a trigger. This is the gun that invented the 9mm cartridge, literally. The Luger P08 fires 9x19 parabellum, which was developed specifically for it. It runs on a toggle lock action, which is as mesmerizing to watch as it is to shoot. It's a semi-auto with an 8-round magazine, and that long, raked grip angle? Yeah, it inspired everything from the P38 to the Glock 17. The craftsmanship on these is next level, hand-fit parts, precise machining, and that distinct silhouette that screams vintage military cool. They're surprisingly accurate too, thanks to the fixed barrel design. But be warned, they can be picky about ammo, and taking one apart for cleaning is like solving a metal puzzle box. Collectors eat these up. Prices for shooter-grade wartime models start around $1,500, while mint condition, matching number, and unit-marked examples can climb to $5,000 or more. Add Nazi-era markings or a documented battlefield history, you're in Holy Grail territory. Number 2 is what happens when a legend goes tactical, the Beretta M9A4. If the 92 FS was the military's duty pistol of the past, the M9A4 is its battle-ready younger cousin, fully geared for the 21st century. And if you're lucky enough to own one, especially a factory FDE or optic-ready model, this is not something you trade for cash. This is something you ride into the apocalypse. The M9A4 keeps the bones of the classic M9, full-size aluminum frame, double-action, single-action trigger, threaded barrel, and that buttery Beretta slide action. But then it cranks everything up. You get tritium night sights, an optic-ready slide, 18-round magazines, that's right, 18, and a Picatinny rail for whatever laser light combo your heart desires. This thing was built for modern combat, and it shows. Whether you're suppressing it for quiet work or slapping on a red dot for fast target acquisition, the M9A4 adapts like a pro. The textured Vertex-style grips improve control, and the extended mag release is a small but meaningful upgrade. It's still got that classic Beretta DNA, just with extra muscle. Retail price is around $950 to $1,100, but availability fluctuates fast because these things sell like hotcakes. And collectors? They're watching this one closely. The M9A4 isn't just a shooter, it's becoming the Beretta to own for people who want vintage bloodlines with modern muscle. At number 1, we've got the gun that redefined firepower in the public imagination, the Smith & Wesson Model 29. You know it, you've seen it, and if you've got one, don't just keep it, worship it. This revolver didn't just make an impact, it made Dirty Harry iconic and turned the phrase, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" into one of the most quoted lines in gun history. Introduced in 1955, the Model 29 is a 6-shot, double single-action revolver chambered in .44 Magnum, one of the most powerful handgun cartridges ever put into production. The original blued steel finish, the oversized walnut grips, and the heavy frame scream power with class. Whether you're looking at a 4-inch, 6.5-inch, or 8 3/8-inch barrel, every version of the Model 29 is a collector's dream. What really makes it shine isn't just the muscle, it's the smooth trigger, the tight lockup, and the old-school craftsmanship that defined Smith & Wesson's golden era. Firing one? It's like shaking hands with a thunder god, loud, flashy, and unforgettable. Prices on modern production models float around $1,000 to $1,200, but vintage, pinned and recessed models from the 60s and 70s? Those can bring in $2,000 to $3,000 or more, depending on condition and box set. And if it's a true Dirty Harry era piece, that's a revolver you do not let go. There you have it. 15 rare guns you should never sell, from battlefield icons to one-of-a-kind oddities. These aren't just tools. They're history, heritage, and investments wrapped in wood, steel, and polymer. If one of these is sitting in your safe, do the smart thing. Hang on tight. Now it's your turn. Which one would you never let go? Drop it in the comments, hit like, and share this with someone who might be thinking of selling a legend.